Good evening. Welcome to CINEBRA. Please do not turn off your mobile phones. You are encouraged to use your mobile phones to take pictures, videos, and boomerangs to show all your friends and family just how much of a super fun time you are having through the medium of the following platforms: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Phone use for any other reason unless instructed otherwise is not just strictly forbidden, but also very rude. Do not forget to tag and follow CINEBRA on all the available platforms. Now, sit back, relax, it's about to begin.
If you're left feeling blue, you know everything's fine. You can go to the pictures for $8.99. Choose from magic, action, laughs or gore. You can leave your troubles at the door. So you'll sit with your popcorn and your mouth dry your Pepsi and watch your favourite movie star in your own little world at the cinema.
Hello, fellow shopping lovers. Did you know that you're missing something in your life?
Do you love music?
Do you love films?
Do you love collecting things?
Then look no further.
The soundtrack to CINEBRA, A History of Horror, could be yours for a mere £6.
How much?
That's right, £6.
Featuring all the tracks you'll know and love because you may or may not have heard them before.
Stick around after the show and buy one now while stocks last.
We only made 12. Enjoy the show.
Hail from the silver screen, it's Glenda Swing and Rita Herringbone!
It's me, Megan, and today I'm here with a very special guest, my friend Abigail.
Megan,
Say hi to the followers, Abigail.
hi.
Wow,
I would look so good in all of these.
I really like this one.
I love that one.
I don't know how much that one is, I can't see the price.
I love it. I think she gets it.
Well, should we have a quick look around before we make any purchases? Wow, look at those butterflies. Special price, £95.
It's a load of shit.
Excuse me,
Hi.
can I get something out of 47?
Sure, you have to be quick on the pendants.
Yeah.
Prices are pretty cheap, actually.
Yeah, they do look good.
Good. He does sort of like 15.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Is that
I'll grab
right?
that one.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Thank you.
It's got a nice weight to it as well.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Have you had a really good day? I mean, if you wanted to, we could do something like, no, I was thinking maybe we could go and see a film. Or,
Well, I think that's trying to be the pig from Saw. Or American Horror Story, but, Cilla Black, Hellraiser. I think that's trying to be... Oh, look, Annabelle!
oh my goodness.
This is too colourful.
You are colourful. You're wearing a red coat. Oh my goodness, look. There's that Starbucks I went to with Abigail last week.
Oh, did you have a nice time?
Oh yeah, it was really nice. We're just
hanging out in... Well, we didn't drink coffee because we bought this necklace and we couldn't afford it, but it was really cool, it was really nice.
Let me see it. Oh.
She's giving it back to me now, she borrowed it for a bit.
Oh.
It's really nice, I really like it. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's alright. Hello, I didn't see you there. My name's Sophie.
I'm Megan.
And welcome to CINEBRA, a history of horror. Spooky.
Tonight's presentation will include...
Fun facts.
gory stories.
And maybe even a scare or two.
Or 3 or 4. So without further ado,
Please welcome your hosts, hidden somewhere in this room, Sophie and Megan.
We love movies, but we find there's a genre that's our favourite kind. If you don't like spooks or bumps in the night, I think that you best be gone. Trigger warning, this evening there'll be guts and gore and poltergeist and so much more. If you're brave enough to face the night, then join us as we carry on. We're horror girls and the very best. We can cosplay with a rare finesse. We're the biggest fans with the biggest brains and booby facts running through our veins. If your horror knowledge is subpar, you can learn a thing from CINEBRA. Ha 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 ha. If slasher movies make you tick, or haunted houses, zombie flicks, if you don't feel right without screams in the night, then get comfortable in your seat. We thought it would be really cool to take you all to horror school and share our wisdom, facts and stuff. So here's your trick or treat. We're horror girls at the very best. We can cosplay with a rare finesse. We're the biggest fans with the biggest brains and booby facts running through our veins. If you love the spooky and bizarre, you can learn a thing from CINEBRA. Ha 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 ha. You can learn a thing from CINEBRA. Welcome to our seminar. Ha 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 ha. Hello. My name's Sophie. I'm Megan. And we really like movies. So for those of you who don't know us, we are called CINEBRA, which is like cinema but with a bra. Yeah, because we rate movies in bras instead of stars, because they're just as relevant and supportive. Yeah, so like obviously we're really educational and stuff, but we're also budding social media starlets. If you're interested in that sort of thing, you can follow us on Facebook / We Really Like Movies, Instagram @ We Really Like Movies, and Twitter @ CINEBRA.
We're also on YouTube as well, which is also CINEBRA, because I don't know if you know this, I've been like pushing for us to do more YouTube stuff recently, because the undisputed queen of the basics, Zoella, who lives here in Brighton, earns £1.12 a minute from her videos, and imagine what we could do with that kind of budget.
Yes, I quite agree. We should get started, really, shouldn't we?
Yeah, like, obviously, like as we said, we really like movies, and there are so many movie genres we could have chosen to do like a seminar on, but today we wanted to talk about horror.
Yes, because we thought in these times of revolt, war, questionable leaders,
With really bad fashion choices,
political unrest, economic paranoia, as well as denial of the greenhouse effect, altogether topped off with miserable chart music, we thought we'd explore the horror genre to remind us all that although the world is a scary place, we as human beings like to watch horror movies to escape our own irrational and existential fears by watching a group or individual overcome or be defeated by something so terrible and horrifying to satisfy and inspire our own need for survival.
Wow, Sophie, deep.
I read this lovely article about the psychology of horror in Vice magazine. It was so lovely.
All right, Sophie.
Yeah.
Okay, so but before we start the presentation, I just wanted to touch a little bit on the history of this building, because I don't know if you know, but we're actually on very spooky grounds.
Yes, back in the day, this used to be known as a cursed building. There's been many venues. There's been, I think, 2 clubs, and it was a horror maze, and now it's a theatre. Now, theory has it that back in the day, it was in fact a Victorian all-girls school, and they all died suspiciously. I've done my homework, however, and led to believe that Victorian plumbing gave them all lead poisoning.
So basically, you guys, like, I've read this book, what's called The Demonologist by Gerard Brittle, which is about, like, real-life demons and stuff, and he said, always carry salt just in case. So I just wanted you to know, in case anything weird happens, you're on really good hands. Have you brought anything to contribute to the cause, Sophie?
I bought this water from the co-op and I went to St. Nicholas's up the road and had it blessed. And it's safe to drink. Cheers!
Sophie? Okay, wicked. So anyway, you're in good hands, so just in case.
So,
I guess we better get on with the start of the presentation. So,
first slide, please. Sophie and Megan presents CINEBRA, a history of horror and all that's important. I love clip art.
I know,
crazy, isn't it?
Okay, so first slide, please.
Second.
Well,
Early horror silent movies. Now, our first point of reference is Thomas Edison's Frankenstein. Now, although referred to as Edison's Frankenstein, it's in fact directed by a man called J. Searle Dawley, who was a popular American screenwriter and director at the time. Frankenstein was actually his only horror picture, which was a 16-minute short inspired by Mary Shelley's novel. The reason it's known as Edison's Frankenstein is because I'm not sure if any of you are aware, but Thomas Edison, who invented the practical electric light bulb, also made the motion picture camera, and from that he made the kinetogram where you could watch movies out of. He had the viewpoint of binoculars. Crazy.
Look, Sophie, I know you really like this one, but to be honest, I'm not even that sure why he's in the presentation. He's not even that scary.
Megan, have you seen it?
No.
It's really important. I told you to watch it.
Yeah, you sent me the YouTube link and 240 qual, but you know I only watch things they're 480 or above.
Never mind, moving on.
Okay, next please. From 1920, we have The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, what was directed by a man called Robert Wieners.
It's pronounced Venus.
Thank you, Sophie. And this one is really interesting, because I don't know if you've seen it, but the monster in this one is actually like quite fit. So you sort of fancy him, which like differentiates it from other horrors of the time. And also like the art style in this one, it was quite surreal and wonky, which for like a modern audience, I guess that would mean it looked a bit like a Tim Burton film. So I think this one is a
What
really...
Megan means by surreal and wonky is in fact German expressionism, which continues to inspire horror iconography and cinematography today, particularly in the works of Tim Burton.
Right, thank you, Sophie. Next, please.
Nosferatu, ein Symphony des Grauens, which translates from German to Nosferatu, a symphony of horror. This was released as an unauthorised adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. You see, the production company didn't have the rights. They changed names, dates, places and character names and released it anyway, which was very naughty, even though it came to be known as a really influential piece of horror cinema.
Get this, you guys. A couple of years ago, this website, what's called Rotten Tomatoes, said it was the second best reviewed horror film of all time.
Yeah, and a fun fact for you all, the actor who played the Count was called Max Schreck, and Schreck means fright in German.
But wait for it, that wasn't even his stage name, it was like
Really his name. We were lucky enough to in fact meet him in Portsmouth and Southsea where we were doing a show, and
he was so nice and we did this interview with him, so
here it is.
So, here we are at the House of Burlesque in Southsea, and we're here with Nosferatu.
We're really excited because Nosferatu is one of our most favourite iconic horror movie characters.
Yeah, we're going to now do an interview. We just got 5 questions of importance that we feel that you all want the answers to. So, am I going first?
Yeah.
How does it feel being an auteur of the horror genre?
Okay. How do you feel you've contributed to horror, like, as a genre?
Nice. Okay. Are you still in touch with your co-stars? And
the question on everyone's lips: what is your favourite horror movie?
Of course. What do you miss most about the sun? So, that was our interview. Hope you enjoyed it.
Many thanks to our special guest, Nosferatu, King of Horror.
And, well, back to the show.
Oh, Megan, he really is such a talented actor, isn't he?
yeah, he really is.
I mean, even though the locals avoid him for being a vampire and stuff, it must get terribly lonely being up in that dusty old castle knowing that nobody wants to see you.
Yeah, it must really suck.
Even though Greta gave him the time of day or night in this instance. I guess everyone at some point in their life feels like they're in their own metaphorical dusty old castle knowing that nobody wants to see them.
When we were only little girls of maybe 9 or 10, we spent our lunch breaks on our own each day again. But then I saw her staring through her spectacles at me. At our first glance across the playground, I knew it was meant to be.
Sorry.
Just 2 girls, 2 pals in the school.
I like to play scrunchy.
I just thought she was cool.
Just 2 girls, 2 pals in the playground, with a mutual love of movies. And I found that now in this moment, I know my loneliness has come to an end. Just 2 girls, Sophie and Megan, with my new best friend.
And I remember we were inseparable all through primary.
Thank you, when we went to secondary school, we were put in the same form, 7M.
And our form tutor, Mrs. Brown, who looked just like
Kathy Bates, so we really liked her, but she never did think it was funny when we'd shout,
You murdered my misery!
morning when she called out our names in the register. Oh, I never did understand why she got so upset. Oh, the mischief we used to get up to.
Years 7 through 11 were a blast for my partner in crime.
I can pain speak secret languages half of the time. Never get you, but you never got, never get, never can. It made the teachers really annoyed.
But we still studied really hard, and I got C's in my GCSEs.
And I got 3 A stars, 2 A's, and unfortunately a B.
So all in all this years, I don't know really just exactly how we planned.
Was the first step to becoming well employed.
And although we both were outcasts, we knew that we both had style. And although they called us weird freaks, we'd only be upset for a while, cause we were 2 fab girls in secondary school.
We both had each other.
Locked out the fools. 2 fab girls, 2 pals in the media suite, with a mutual love of laptops. And we found that throughout the years, we knew our friendship would come to an end. 2 fab girls, Sophie and Meg, with my best friend.
I remember the day we got our college acceptance letters. We went and sat in Ben and Jerry's at the Odeon.
It was so nice, and we got this
Peanut butter cup milkshake. It had to be a milkshake because I can't have cones because I'm a celiac. Oh, we were so nervous, so we swapped each other's letters and we turned to each other and said, I'm sorry to inform you, Megan, that your application to Brighton and Hove Sussex Sixth Form College has been unsuccessful. Kidding!
We actually did get in. And what a year it has been.
The answer to excelling at my A-levels is simple really. Knuckle down and study till I understand the subject clearly. Why should I be aiming to be anything except for at the top of the class, with class in movie studies, English and finally in politics, and after college clubs and learning circus skills and magic tricks. I never let the chance of having learning opportunities to pass.
In second year, I made a friend who I met in psychology, who had a mutual interest in clothes and cosmetology. While Sophie always studied, I just had to find a person who could hang out with me. Her name is Abigail, and although when I talk she doesn't listen, I still like her loads because she reminds me of Debbie Gibson. Whenever she wears a new season clothes, she gives the last season to me. And we're just 2 girls in the quad. It makes me look trendy to be in her squad. Just 2 girls in the shopping mall, with a mutual love of Tumblr. And I found I'm stuck in the middle, in between my 2 best friends. Just 3 girls, Sophie and Meg and Abigail. And we're just 2 girls in the quad. It makes me look trendy to be in her squad. Just 2 girls in the shopping mall, with a mutual love of Tumblr. And I found I'm stuck in the middle, in between my 2 best friends. Just 3 girls, Sophie and Meg and Abigail.
The sugar's running out.
You are? Hold on a sec.
Are you kidding?
Sorry, Sophie. Hi, Abby. How's it going?
Hi, Megan. Zara. How's your presentation going?
Yeah, it's going really well. Everyone's having a really nice time, I think.
Has anyone come?
Actually, there's loads of people here tonight. Say hi to Abigail, everyone.
That necklace, we've got, it's really nice, but how are you finding it?
I'm really enjoying it, actually. Obviously, it's like super antique. It's sort of a bit Urban Outfitters, but like sort of very Billie Eilish, which is like totally my vibe.
So nothing weird
You are?
happened?
Abby? Sorry, the signal here is so bad.
Oh, nothing is chill. Don't worry, me just being me. Just got weird. Never mind, so I'll let you go on.
Okay, well, thanks for calling.
Also, just quickly, have you done that stupid psychology handout? It's so fucking boring. Ugh, I can't even concentrate.
Well,
I just thought I'd ask you first.
Well, yeah, I have done it, but I'm kind of in the middle of my seminar right now. But I could, stay up and help you with it later if you wanted to.
Great.
How would you leave it, Steve, by the way, Abigail? What?
Nothing, it doesn't matter.
Sophie, is there a problem?
Let's just carry on, shall we, with the presentation?
Why are you looking at me like that?
Let's not waste any more time, Megan.
All right then, let's just carry on with the presentation.
I just can't believe you'd answer a FaceTime in the middle of this. People are paying money to see this, you know.
Look, Sophie, I know you and Abigail don't get along, but she never said you're that annoying.
I never did say she said it was annoying.
Oh. You see her in the hallway with a print blonde hair and a bright blue blazer. She looks hot as hell with every stitch that she wears. And if you're in a circle, you can always count on her to come and save ya. She don't care that people say she's a bitch. She's a bitch, she's a bitch. She don't care.
When you get ridiculed for the clothes that you wear.
When you walk through campus without so much as a care.
When you spend your lunch times crying alone. The Abigail Swanson syndrome. I've known what she's been up to since day one, but you didn't listen, you've fallen for it, haven't you?
Sorry, Sophie, just gotta take this.
You and your bloody phone. Abigail College, we were scared, didn't know anybody but each other. Then we heard a titter and there she was.
There she was, there she was.
Here we go. And later on they're hanging out. She's acting like she's so above her. Everything that Abby says, Meg applauds.
I applaud.
Even though
when you get to try to beside her sitting in the park,
waiting for your best friend at the bus stop in the dark.
when she holds your hair back, being sick on a gravestone.
The Abigail Swanson syndrome. The Abigail Swanson syndrome. There'll be no applause for Abigail, thank you very much.
Sophie?
Right, drum roll, please. Next up, we have the Universal Horror Silent Era. Now, I'm not sure if any of you are aware, but a lot of early horror pictures were derived from horror literature.
For those of you who don't know, literature is like another word for books.
Now, of course, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Bram Stoker's Dracula were two of the most popular go-to resources for theatrical adaptation, and this was no different to the works of Victor Hugo with Universal's Hunchback of Notre Dame and Phantom of the Opera.
This is not to be confused with Andrew Lloyd Webber's masterpiece, The Phantom of the Opera. Like, obviously, there's been lots of different versions. Sarah Brightman was obviously amazing as the OG Christine, but I really feel like Emmy Rossum played the most amazing Christine Dye in the film version. She really brought a certain je ne sais quoi to the role that I think nobody else has really had, except for maybe Sierra Bones.
Both of these films featured highly regarded horror auteur Lon Chaney.
Lon Chaney, as well as being a really amazing monster actor, he was like a really influential makeup artist of the time. I guess to put it into context, he was kind of like James Charles of the old ages.
Both of these films featured the same sets, which was very cost-effective, Mr. Carl Lemley.
Sophie, all right?
Yeah. Now, Carl Lemley was the studio's owner at the time, and his son, Carl Lemley Jr., persuaded him to start cashing in on the horror genre, and with the mounting success of both of these films, he was sold.
So much so, the studio went on to make two other films, one of which was called The Cat and the Canary, which, if memory serves, is about a cat and a canary.
It was actually one of the first ever haunted house movies to establish horror iconography and stuff, like long hallways with billowing curtains and hairy hands appearing behind bookcases, which are actually secret doorways.
All right, same difference. And next up, we also have The Man Who Laughs. I know quite a lot about The Man Who Laughs. I'll tell you why. It's because The Man Who Laughs is like a go-to inspiration for like people who play the DC's Joker character. Obviously, like, I'm a really big Batman fan. It's been played by a lot of really cool people like Heath Ledger, Jared Leto. But coming up this year, we have the Joker's origin film where he's being played by Joaquin Phoenix. It's going to be really cool because it's going to be really dark and edgy, and we're going to see a different Joker that we have.
Even though on paper this film is considered a romantic melodrama, it's stooped so high in expressionist gloom that it plays out like a horror movie.
Okay.
Right, now next up we have the Universal Horror Talkie era. Now, I love this era of cinema so much. However, the original draft of our presentation was an extra 2 hours and 43 minutes long. So, Megan has taken the liberty.
So I wrote a poem to condense the section for you. I'll read it to you now. Universal horrors were around for a long time. I did a bit of research, then I wrote this sick rhyme. The monsters are quite spooky, so you all better beware. Some of them are vampires, some are covered in hair. You had Dracula and Frankenstein, the Invisible Man. You had the mystery of Edwin Drood, and then the mummy's hand. The weird woman, jungle woman, thing that couldn't die. And there was Abbott and Costello meets Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Boris Karloff was in lots of them. Lon Chaney was too. They were really good at what they did. Oh yeah, I know it's true. So Universal horrors, we all do love you so. But they're not as good as modern films. James Wan's the way to go.
Wow. I can't believe after all of that you wouldn't mention Bela Lugosi and his plight for the role of Dracula, or the fact that James Whale was an openly gay director of the time. That's kind of a big deal in the 1930s, don't you think?
Thank God you mentioned it now, Sophie.
So now, a slight jump and sidetrack from our last references. We've got so many amazing titles to talk to you about before we get to the 1990s. We've got a really good bit coming up next.
Yeah, we're kind of skimming past the 50s a bit, because it was like a lot of sci-fi, and obviously sci-fi is really cool, so we thought we'd dedicate another seminar to it sometime.
Yeah, we do really like sci-fi. Like, you could see a lot of political tensions and a lot of 1950s sci-fi.
Yeah, a lot of the alien films of the 50s were kind of about, like, the fear of communism and stuff.
Yes, they were. Well done. Yes. Now, of course, we're merely highlighting strong moments in horror cinema that have gone on as points of reference for other directors and horror creators to be inspired and make the genre more rich and fruitful. Splatter film, gore film, or gorno is a subgenre of horror that focuses on graphic portrayals of gore and violence.
These films, through use of special effects, tap into the fascination with the vulnerability of our bodies and the theatricality of that mutilation.
The term splatter cinema was coined by director George A. Romero to describe his film Dawn of the Dead. Even though it was considered to have higher aspirations by the critics, other than to be simply exploitative for its own sake.
In recent years, the use of graphic violence in cinema has been labelled torture porn, but like other films such as Brain Dead, Evil Dead 2 can be seen as comedic and fall into the category of splatstick.
Even though there were depictions of gore and violence in a lot of silent movies such as Le Chien. Megan?
What?
Megan, are you okay?
It's like a bit dark, Sophie, calm down. Guys, what's going on?
Tony, what?
Help?
That's so embarrassing. Those of you that don't know, that was Debbie Gibson. She's our favourite retro pop princess. And then, well, she was really big in the 1980s, and Tiffany came along and took the, number one that Debbie so desperately deserved, and then Britney Spears came along and made it all smutty as far as I'm concerned. But,
that's a bit of a tangent. really wasn't meant to feature in the show.
Sorry, I'm just embarrassed, Megan.
We have a bit
Was it that water you spilled earlier?
Sophie, calm down. We have like a bit of a ritual. We always like to warm up to Debbie Gibson's. That's why we have a.
It's enough about Debbie. We should get on with it. Right.
We're just going to carry on in the dark, or what?
Oh, people are paid, you know. We've got to do this. So,
this is really embarrassing.
I know. Oh, okay. So none of you turn off your phones. Can you all give us a torch or two? Wow, I feel like Beyonce. Hello.
That's actually kind of nice.
Wow. Cool. Right. Okay. We can carry on.
What was next?
It's my bit. I'm going to talk about the big horror movie franchises of the early 1970s. Megan!
Sophie, when you find the light.
Now I'm going to talk to you all about the big horror movie franchises of the early 1970s, technically the present day. Now there are three very important characters that I deem, and a lot of other people deem, to be postmodern horror classics. Now I'm going to talk about one very, very important figure you might recognise in the corner over there. And yes, I'm of course talking about...
But we can't play the track, can we?
You can continue softly if you wish. John Carpenter's first ever commercial hit in 1978. Megan, you're making me feel sick. It gave new life to the slasher genre, originally an idea suggested by producer Owen Adler. And it was going to be called The Babysitter Murders, and it would feature, you guessed it, a silent stalking killer that would hunt down babysitters in suburban America. And now, John Carpenter took the idea, and from that he suggested it took place on a Halloween night, and from that he made a story. Now, of course, this film features iconic scream queen Janet Leigh's daughter, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis is like a really interesting person within horror, because I don't know if you know this, but like Jamie Lee Curtis' character, Laurie Strode, in this film, she really started to like perpetuate the final girl trope, which is still really important within horror, like even today. So because of this, we prepared a song for you about the final girl trope, which is called
Final Girl.
But I think we might have to skim past it today, because obviously I made like this amazing synth pop backing track which we're going to use. But...
Well, give it a go with the little ukulele, you know.
Wait, doesn't it pick something up I haven't done it on?
I was just flicking some strings, Megan.
Ew, Sophie.
What?
Yum.
What?
Well, we can give it a go. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Okay.
I think it's going to be, you know, really cool, because, yeah, what do people call it? Unplugged.
Okay, wicked. So, this one is...
Final Girl. It's 1963, the night is Halloween. The police are called to investigate a bloody murder scene. Michael Myers, 6 years old, has stabbed his sister Judith. Stabbed her with a kitchen knife. They locked him up, they held him down, they threw away the key. But after only 15 years, he's managed to break free. He's back in town, he's here to kill in a William Shatner mask. He's back to end a few teenagers' lives. Except for one, there's always one, the one who stops to think, the one who doesn't sleep around, smoke cigarettes or drink. Except for one, Miss Laurie Strode, a message to the world. If you stay good and wholesome, there's a chance that you might be the final girl. The final girl. The final girl. The final girl. It's 1996, Drew Barrymore's at home. It soon becomes quite clear that she's not totally alone. A phone call from a stranger takes a dark and twisted turn. A horror quiz that ends with a knife in
in the throat. The killer this time's Ghostface and his motive is unknown. They only know he wears cheap masks and uses telephones. He's killing kids all over town, no one can make him stop. With a body count like that, he's got good reason to gloat. Except for one, he misses one, the one who got away with an ambiguous, genderless name, the girl he's gonna slay. Except for one, Miss Sydney Prescott, and she tells the world, even though I screwed my boyfriend, screw you all, I know I'm still the final girl. The final girl. The final girl. The final girl. No, no, sir, you can't stop me. You've killed my friends and my family. I'm bathed in blood, but I'll still be fighting till the end. No, no, sir, you can't stop me. You've killed my friends and my family. I'm bathed in blood, but I'll still be fighting till the end. The final girl. 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 And this day we're at Norbury. Ash, Jess, Sarah, and Sydney. Bathed in blood, but they'll still be fighting till the end. Ash, Jess, Susie, and Nancy. Mary, Beth, Helen, and Kirsty. Bathed in blood, but they'll still be fighting till the end. The final girl. You're really good at that, aren't you?
Wasn't too shabby, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Now, your turn. That's why I write things down, Megan. You were going to talk about postmodern literary horror.
Okay, wicked. Okay, so I want to talk to you a bit about one of my favourite horror films, which is, of course, Brian De Palma's Carrie. This is, well, it was the first Stephen King novel, but get this, it was also the first Stephen King film adaptation. How crazy is that? Like, basically, Carrie, right, she's like this sort of weird teenage girl, and she's like quite relatable to like an edgy teenage audience. Like, she has a really hard time at school, but she has this weird mum as well. She's just like not having a good day. And then like she has this period in the showers at school, but she doesn't even know what's going on because her mum didn't tell her it was going to happen. But like she's telekinetic, so she like blows these light bulbs with her mind, and then like... Is that...
Oh, Tony, well done. Oh, you can all turn your torches off
thank God for
now.
that.
Thank you
Just
so
to carry
much
on.
for that.
So
you
Carrie,
guys.
she was like...
So, yeah. Sorry.
Let's get out.
Hey, Sophie! What have you done?
Yeah. Right, Sophie, what are you doing here?
Hungry?
Yeah, you're hungry, Sophie. Where's the biscuit?
What are you doing?
Biscuit, you're gonna get so bloated all the week.
What are you doing?
Eat, wheat, and die. Quack, quack, you can't. Sophie, you big loser. Sophie, you big loser.
I knew it!
Knew what?
I don't know you and Abigail thought this whole thing was a big joke and oh, you both laughed about me!
Sophie, obviously that wasn't me. Why would I have done that? Sophie, you're my best friend.
No, Megan, no more! You don't think I don't know what she's been up to? You don't think I don't see the way that she looks at me, the way she talks to me? She doesn't even know my name! She's no use for me, only you, to do her homework for her to make her look cool because she's fobbed off last season's crappy clothes on you. I have to be constantly reminded of what she's trying to do to us. With every chart topper I hear you humming, with every hand-me-down I see you wear. I grow more and more weary and I feel like I'm being pushed out. You've been my best friend since the summer of year 4. And what about me? What about Debbie?
that you don't wear your best friend necklace anymore says it all to me. You've got a new one. We're just two girls, 2 pals with the school. I thought you were my friend, but I was a fool. Just 2 girls, one tries so hard to beat you every step of the way. But now I've found that now in this moment, you are trying to defend that awful girl.
Abigail.
Your best friend.
Sophie! I'm really sorry for this technical difficulty, everyone. I guess I'll just carry on with the presentation by myself. Where were we? Carrie, right? So she goes to prom and she looks like really slamming. Everything started to look up. But then she gets publicly humiliated in front of a large crowd. And then she kills everyone. Sorry, guys.
What the fuck is her problem?
Look, Abigail, obviously she's really upset and like this is all very dramatic and I don't really get what's going on, but look, I know it was a really long time ago.
A month ago, Megan.
I know, Abigail, it's just, I don't even know how this has happened, like why would that even be on the presentation? Obviously that horrible video wasn't on my memory stick, like... Abby?
Go on.
Abigail, are you okay?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Are you sure nothing weird has happened to you recently? Like, specifically since we got the necklace?
Like, nothing I would consider that weird. I tell you what is weird though, you know how I really like to have eggs for breakfast? Basically I got a box this week and every time I've cracked one it's had a double yolk. How crazy is that?
Just shut up a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna check something out. Okay, hang on.
Why are you walking around in a dark house though, Abigail?
Let's switch to the other side of the fucking room, Megan.
That was fucking rude.
How dare you just interrupt this whole bloody thing? I don't know where you think you're going to and what kind of crappy exotic celiac Sophie anyway?
Sophie!
What?
Who's on the phone?
Abigail?
How can you be on the phone to Abigail? I was literally on FaceTime to her just now.
You should really change your text tone, Megan.
Sorry, it was just dominoes, nothing important. Sophie, can we just...
No, we're not going to do this right now.
Sophie, then we need to talk about what is happening.
Not going to do this now.
Sophie, we need
We're going to continue with the presentation and finish it as planned.
Sophie, we need to...
Now, picking up where Evil Dead left off with its hybrid of super gore and supernatural. Where's Craven birthed the original bird-faced man, Freddy Krueger?
Now, here's an interesting fact about Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger encapsulates fear across the board, a rebooted boogeyman of sorts, all the while creating a paternal fear of one's child being harmed.
If by harmed you mean molested.
Freddy Krueger was one of the studio's top competitors next to his stepbrothers, Michael Myers, and one other we'll be getting to very, very shortly.
Now, here's a fun fact about Nightmare
on Elm Street was also Hollywood dreamboat, Johnny Depp's first film.
Sophie!
Spawning a franchise consisting of many sequels, a rap song with Will Smith, a TV spin-off as well as a reboot, and collaboration with Friday 13th. Now, it's a real shame about this next bit because we spent quite a lot of time on it, didn't we? I don't really feel like singing with Megan right now.
Sophie, I don't know why you're being like...
Being like what?
Nothing, but all these people have taken time out of their busy fringe to come and learn all the horror facts, so we're going to have to do it anyway. Okay, you guys, so this is a song that we worked really hard on. It's basically a super educational cover. I don't know if you're familiar with the work of internet songstress Rebecca Black, but we are doing a song, her song Friday, but it's a cover about the Friday 13th franchise. There is a bit of audience interaction, so you could help us. Wow, guys, enthusiasm. Okay, so basically we're going to go murdering, murdering, and you're going to scream like you're running away from a serial killer. Do you think you can do that? Yeah. Okay, let's try it. Murdering, murdering. Murdering, murdering. Yeah, just like that, wicked. Okay,
hit it, Tony. Waking up in the morning, gotta be fresh, gotta go downstairs, gotta have my bowl, gotta have cereal, seeing everything that time is going, ticking on and on, everybody's rushing, gotta get down to the campsite, gotta hitch a ride, I see some men, hello, my name's Annie, please sir, can you help me, can you take me halfway to Camp Crystal Lake? Seems to be leaving, Friday, killing kids on Friday. This weekend, but nobody seems to be leaving. Murdering, murdering, run. Oh my God, where are all of my kids? It is Jason's birthday. Today it is Friday. He's so excited, he's gonna kill some kids today. Tomorrow is Saturday, but that doesn't matter because most of the cast bar one are going to die in all in equally horrific and bloody ways. Tonight their lives are going to change. Jason Voorhees, Jason in the bottom.
bottom of the lake. I'm drowning, dying, mum, help. Mum has help by staying all them home. Putting the sun in Jason, yeah, that is me. Mum has got them making them scream. Shout out to Betty Palmer, she played my mum. Come on, now let's run.
It's Friday, Friday.
Get my gas out on Friday.
Oh God, what? Who's this nice old lady? We're gonna get stabbed Friday, Friday. Getting stabbed on Friday. Oh no, she isn't nice. She's trying to kill me. Murdering, 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 murdering. Run, 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 run. Oh my God, where are all of my Friday, Friday? Kill the old bitch on Friday.
Hamlet's dead, but Jason seems to be stirring, stirring.
Friday, Friday. Behead your mum on Friday. Hamlet's dead, but Jason seems to be stirring. Murdering, 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 murdering. Run, 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 run. Oh my God, where are all of my murdering, 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 murdering. Run, 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 run. Oh my God, where are all of my friends?
Sophie, come on, that was really fun. What?
Well, I thought the Evil Dead song was going to be much better.
We discussed why we weren't going to do the Evil Dead song, and that's because Friday 13th really reinvented like the threat of the woods.
Well, here's my problem with Friday 13th, right? So Jason Voorhees, he drowns in this lake as a young child, right? And then he sinks to
Right.
the bottom and then finds some kind of pure gem at the bottom of the lake. Comes back as a mysterious beefcake, and it doesn't add up to me at all.
What, so finding like a weird brick made of skin is a reasonable excuse for stuff happening?
At least there is an excuse.
Yeah, but Sophie, like, what I think is really scary when you're watching a horror film is like when, you know, all this stuff keeps kind of happening and escalating, keeps getting scarier and scarier, you don't even know why it's going on, then at the end of the day it's been right under your nose the whole time. What?
Can you smell that?
Smell what?
Smells like gas.
Sophie, you know I've got a deviated septum, I literally can't smell anything.
Never mind, just carry on.
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, you guys, so we're in the 90s now, and I'm going to talk to you about Wes Craven's iconic slasher Scream. This is a really fun one, right? So basically, the killer in this franchise is called Ghostface, and in the different films, it's like different people, but it's like always the same costume, which is like a really fun idea, I think. Like, this film had Drew Barrymore in, but she was only in it for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, which is kind of like a nice hat tip to Janet Leigh in Psycho, if you ask me. And basically, like, in this first scene, she's on the phone, and she's like talking to Ghostface, the killer, and...
Megan, don't answer that.
Sophie, it's
Megan, please don't answer
Sophie,
that.
it's just being really weird.
No.
Abigail? Abby, what's going on? Are you listening to Debbie Gibson? I think you're being so weird today. What? You okay, hon?
A year later, I Know What You Did Last Summer came out. It was directed by a man called Jim Gillespie, based on a novel of the same name, which was published in 1973. This film also draws inspiration from the urban legend of the Hood, which was keeping in touch with horror's new moralistic guidelines for survival. For example, don't have...
Sophie, we're all like nearly adults here. You can say sex.
Sex. Now, of course, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. met on set where their love blossomed, and she was recognised for her efforts in the role and cast as Buffy the Vampire Slayer a year later. Although this film received many award nominations. It was parodied, as were many 90s horror movies, for their use of light melodrama and terrible acting.
Okay, next slide, please. Next up, we've got the game changer. We like to call it the game changer because we really feel like it changed the game. This one is, of course, the Blair Witch Project. This is a really fun one. It's like a found footage film, which means that people find the footage and put it together. And like the promo surrounding the film, like people put mockumentaries on telly and stuff, and people were like, "Is the Blair Witch even real?" But they didn't know. And like, what's scary about this one is like, you know, you're obviously watching the found footage, but there's like stuff going on like outside the frame that you can't even see, but it's like right in front of your nose, and that's what's like really scary. Like they're looking for the Blair Witch in the woods, and they find out these piles of rocks and these stick men. It's all really scary. I recommend you watch it if you haven't seen it.
Next slide, please. Japanese horror in popular culture is noted for its unique thematic treatment of the horror genre in light of Western treatments. A lot of the themes of Japanese horror come from old Japanese law, from the Edo period, which is known as Kaiden, which translates to strange or mysterious apparition. A lot of these films contain themes of exorcism, shamanism, and yoki. An interesting comparison with Westernized horror antagonists and Japanese horror antagonists is that they come from emotional hurt and distress, closely linked with a cursed artifact or destination, proving the point that all of us are capable of terrible things, especially when dead.
As well as Japan, Korea is quite influential in like Hollywood cinema, like notably A Tale of Two Sisters.
Moving on, why don't we talk about Final Destination?
Because we're not doing a Final Destination slide.
An elusive title, don't you think?
Sophie, we decided not to do Final Destination.
March 17th, year 2000, James Wan.
Sophie, we're not doing Final Destination.
Well, why not, eh? Final Destination taps into all of our innermost fears, the inevitability and unpredictability of sudden death. Clearly inspired by unexplained deaths in the media, within this series of films, we watch death manipulate their surroundings to execute the cast members one by one. And the most fun part about Final Destination is that, spoiler alert, no one escapes.
Sophie, you're scaring me.
Why don't you continue with the presentation, Megan? People have paid money to see this.
Okay, next slide then. Okay, so we're going to move swiftly on to the 2010s. We're going to talk about Blumhouse Productions. It's a really influential horror house of the day. You probably recognise some of the films like The Purge, Paranormal Activity, Sinister, Oculus. Today I want to talk to you about Insidious. Insidious is a really interesting one. It's like a demon film. It's got like a really gorgeous colour palette and stuff. But it's really cool. And there's what I think is interesting about this one is the use of Tiny Tim's song "Tiptoe Through the Tulips" is like a motif of demonic activity, because like it was sweet and innocent before, but when you hear it now, it's like really scary. Okay, so I'm going to move swiftly on to The Conjuring, and The Conjuring is a really good one. It's another demon film. It's about real-life demon hunters. Ed Lorraine Warren, played in this by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. And
what an informed insight, Megan. You went to a lot of effort researching that now, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess.
It's always a good distraction, though, isn't it? A distraction from everything wrong in your life.
Sophie, what are you doing?
I bet you wish your boozy old mother cared about you in a fraction of how much you care about James.
Sophie, what are you doing?
But she doesn't, does she? Coming home drunk every other night. Megan, leaving you up most of the night to pick up the pieces and hide her bottles away from your little brother Oscar before he wakes up for school.
How do you know that?
You're drunk and slutty for part of a mother.
Sophie, stop it.
She's made you tell the accident you were though, hasn't she? You look after a little pride and joy Oscar while she goes and sits on every dick in town.
Sophie, what the fuck?
Oh, Joey.
Sophie, no, Sophie, what are you doing?
Your mother fucked your little Facebook boyfriend, that's right. He won't stop. I'll never stop. Remember the time when you and Abigail were laughing at your snotty little cunt of a friend?
Sophie, I wasn't laughing.
You sit-through cunty little bastard.
Sophie, stop it, please.
Your slut of a mother never loved you.
Sophie,
Megan.
stop.
Lived it all around your little
face brain. It's not like you cared anyway. Has it been real spooky and bizarre to see the girl you really are?
So Sophie's been possessed in some unpleasant twist of fate. I've tried to help her out, but now I fear it is too late. Ever since I bought this necklace, life's been filled with dread. Our seminar has gone to shit, and Abby might be dead. Then there's me, there's only me, but now I understand that although my really special day might not go as I planned, then there's me, just Megan, and I'm here to tell the world. Even though you've heard my friends, I won't back down. I might just be the final. Final girl. Final girl. The final girl. The final
Megan, I don't have long.
Sophie, what is it? Talk to me.
Do you remember on Brighton Fringe, November from the bus?
November from the bus? Yeah?
Call her on FaceTime!
Okay, I will.
You have interrupted my healing lunar meditation. What do you want?
Hi November, how's it going? So well, I'll give you the short story, okay? So basically, me and Abigail, we went on this vintage shopping trip a while ago and we found this antique necklace, but it's
Well, she borrowed from you in true self-interested Abigail fashion. But unbeknown to her, it was actually a haunted artefact housing a malevolent inhuman spirit, which she's now taken Abigail. And it's broken down Sophie to the point where she's on the cusp of possession.
Yeah, you guessed it actually.
I've seen you've taken the initiative to immobilise said inhuman spirit in a salt circle. I'm impressed.
Well, thanks November, I've done my reading. I read The Demonologist by Gerard Brittle.
Yes, The Demonologist, a classic.
Okay, November, so obviously, you know about this stuff, and I don't really know that
Silence! The planetary alignment is in my favour tonight.
But November, if you could just give me a hand, I'd really appreciate it.
I can send you a video that's helped me out on a number of occasions, but exorcism requires the strength of many.
Well, actually, November, I'm at my seminar right now, so maybe these people will, give me a hand if I need it.
Okay, yeah. Bless this.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, I don't know what's about to happen, but if I need your help, would you help me?
Yeah!
Okay, thank you so much. Exercise with Julie? What the
Good afternoon. My name is Julie Andrews. You may remember me from such award-winning titles such as Mary Poppins, Victor Victoria, The Sound of Music, and The Princess Diaries. I'm here to share with you all a hearty, simple, instructional vocal walkthrough on how to save your immediate loved ones, friends, or community members from the threat of demonic possession. Now, the thing you need to understand about the occult is that it's not what you do, it's the way you do it. Today, my friends, you have come to receive an education on how to react if a friend is on the leave. An inhuman spirit has begun to show his face, but after you've exorcised with Julie, he'll be gone without a trace. As this could well be your first time and the demon's gone in dry, and you're praying for a mighty God to settle on goodbye. With salts and crucifix in hand and holy water too, you can exorcise the demon with the help of your whole crew. Now, this is the part that requires some audience interaction. Is everybody ready? Fantastic. There are 3 words required for this exorcism. Now, repeat after me. Vada, exit, daemonium. One more time. Vada, exit, daemonium. Now, isn't that lovely? And for those of you who don't know, that translates from Latin to go away, demon. When the time comes, you'll know what to do. Very good. Expel the demon, blessed be of him who'll make a mockery. I say this as your referee. Just put your faith and trust in me. Expel the demon, blessed be, and soon your life will be carefree. And all it takes, I guarantee, to see these words out 1, 2, 3. Far to exit demonium, far to exit demonium, far to exit demonium, far to exit demonium. And now the ball is rolling and your chants have filled the room. You may notice some side effects of which I can assume. Might be frothing at the mouth, the smell of something in the air. Once you've exorcised with Julie, you can awake from this nightmare. With a final push and strength of heart, the end we know is near. So I urge you to continue on, stay firm and without fear. Let's all put hands together and without further ado, you can exorcise the demon with the help of your whole crew. Now, this part is very important. I need you all to hold hands in a circle and surround the inhuman spirit, projecting good thoughts and happiness into the circle. Chop chop. Very good. Are you ready? Okay. All together. Expel the demon, blessed be of him who'll make a mockery. I say this as your referee. Just put your faith and trust in me. Expel the demon, blessed be, and soon your life will be carefree. And all it takes, I guarantee, to see these words out 1, 2, 3. Far to exit demonium, far to exit demonium, far to exit demonium, far to exit demonium. Now you can say it backwards, which is be said, but that's going a bit too far, don't you think? Expel the demon, blessed be, who will make a mockery. I say this as your referee. Just put your faith and trust in me. Expel the demon, blessed be, and soon your life will be carefree. And all it takes, I guarantee, to see these words out 1, 2, 3.
My face is covered in sick, isn't it? Where are my glasses? I can't see. Hello, everyone. Oh, it's Debbie. Hello. This is so
Sophie, you've literally got nothing to be embarrassed about. This is a really unique situation for two 17-year-old girls. Couldn't make it up, could you? So.
I'm really sorry for everything, Megan.
Sophie, I'm sorry. If I ever made you feel like uncool or anything, because Sophie, you're the coolest girl I know.
Well, you can have other friends, I guess.
We're just two girls put to the test. I'm sorry I hurt you.
I'm sorry I was possessed.
Just two girls, two friends back together, and now stronger than ever before. And I found that through all this horror, I know I can always depend on my final girl,
Sophie.
And Meg, my best friend.
It's a shame that all of that stuff happened, because we missed out some really quite amazing bits.
We put so much work into this. I'm sad that we couldn't do it all for you.
What was?
We could have done the Purge song. This is our once-a-year day.
Or the Hills Have Eyes song. The Hills Have Eyes. That's it.
Guys, would you mind if we did one more song?
Right, now, who here loves Australian horror movies?
Who here loves Australian horror movies from 2015?
Yeah.
Well, I think then you really like this one, okay? So, this is one of our favourites to do. It's like, it's also, as well as being a horror song, it's like a pride song as well. So, like, there is some singing and some dancing. The words will be on the screen. If you want to join in, it'd be really cool. But
you might recognise it from somewhere.
yeah, so hit it.
Hit it.
You can't get rid of the Babadook. If you are a clever one and you know what it is to see, you can make a special friend of you and me. His name is Mr. Babadook and this is his book. You will hear 3 sharp knocks, Babadook. He wears a big top hat, he's funny, don't you think? See him in your room at night and you won't sleep a wink. He'll soon take off his disguise. Take heed of what you read. Once you see what's inside, you're going to wish you were dead. Babadook, in a word or in a look. Babadook, you can't get rid of the Babadook. If you are a clever one and you know what it is to see, you can make a special friend of you and me. With you, yeah, he'll make you aware. The more that you deny, the stronger he will get. Here he is, there you go. You'll start to change when he gets in. Come see what's underneath, growing under your skin.